The major problem that we encounter with rape victims is the lack of reported incidents. And in those cases where they are reported, they follow through on prosecution, which is a step-by-step situation from the time they report it. People are fearful that their friends are going to ostracize them, that it boils down to the stigma that's attached, I think, by society concerning any rape victim. And if I could place special emphasis on any one thing, it would be to encourage any female that is raped or sexually assaulted to report it to the police and pursue the prosecution to the nth degree.
Is their anonymity protected in any way?
There are efforts made, but due to the system that we operate under, our records are public records, and the person that the victim must appear in open court, so they will be known eventually. Now, there are many instances where in the preliminary stages of the investigation, that the victim is afraid to participate in a lineup. And I'd like to point out here that in the lineups presently, the victim is never seen by the subjects that are in the lineup, so there's no fear at that point of them being identified, seen by the victim. The only time that they would come in contact with the victim would be during the preliminary court hearing, which would be in municipal court.
If the defense is able to destroy the victim's credibility before the jury of 12, then that was the only thread that we have on which to prosecute. And many times you have these lawyers with extensive education. They are very skillful as to the cross-examination of witnesses in cases. And on the other hand, you have this rape victim who is having to relive probably one of the most traumatic experiences in her life. She is having to not only relive it, but she's having to go through the further traumatic experience of having to tell 12 good citizens what happened to her. She's also being closely cross-examined as to her background. She oftentimes will be confronted with the issue, well, did you consent? What is your reputation for chastity?
Are juries really influenced by the past reputation of a victim rather than by perhaps the overwhelming facts that she was raped?
In my experience as a prosecutor, I would say these generally are smoke screens to get the defense will throw up to get the true issues out of proper perspective. And I would say that generally when it comes to the arguments, which generally are the responsibility of the lawyer for the defendant and the attorney for the state. And at this point, you can bring the juror's attention to the true facts, the merits of the case, and get off of irrelevant details that may have been admitted into evidence.
Isn't it true, though, that if a person, even if they are told by the judge to disregard the fact that they heard something bad about the reputation of the victim, that it's hard for a jury to disregard that anyway?
That's true. It's difficult for the jury. However, I think most of the jurors are generally, the juror may have served on the jury one time before. They generally are very conscientious and will try to do what the judge tells them to do.
Do you feel in perhaps preparing